Hello. Happy Thursday. Happy Democrats took back the House Day. A couple days after. Hi, Caroline. I'm gonna light some Palo Santo, get this mood going, feeling witchy. I'm in a wig and everything. Just kidding, this is my real hair. November is quite a month for me. I don't know if it is for you guys. My bipolar comes back like full force in November. I have like a 3-month situation with bipolar. It cycles May, August, and November. May is like the manic month. August is kind of the flip-flop back and forth, and November is the more depressed month, and it hit me hard a couple nights ago. But the good news is that every year I grow more and I learn more about myself and how to deal with everything, and I think that that's something that we all learn with like the whole process of self-care, is that we just get knocked down for a little less longer. So the card that I drew is kind of in keeping with that kind of feeling, the fact that it's Venus retrograde, the fact that it's Scorpio season, that there was a new moon in Scorpio last night. It's actually the moon card. That's what I drew, is the moon card. And on paper, it kind of feels like the moon card would be like a super duper positive card. And it's not a positive card. But there are some like demons, I'll say. So the moon is dealing with a lot of things rooted in our subconscious and a lot of fears and anxieties, a lot of illusions or delusions, a lot of deep down repressed shit that we have not dealt with fully on whatever level, and a lot of confusion. So yeah, it's a tough card. It's a lot going on. If any of your exes or your past relationships of any kind have been kind of coming out of the woodwork, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to text you out of nowhere. That's like a very obvious telltale sign, but it could be that you get a reminder of someone out of nowhere and it breaks you down. I heard a song the other night and I was just in tears. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not in a happy relationship now. It's just, that's what time it is right now. It's Venus retrograde. Shit is cycling backwards. And we are experiencing a lot of repressed feelings, especially if we didn't thoroughly process them in the first place. So the less likely you were to process them in the beginning, the more likely they are to come up right now. So any fears that you have, any inner demons, shadow selves, we've been talking a lot about this with Scorpio season, so it's coming up now again. So, last week I made the weekly challenge in the Babes group to do an homage to your alter ego, to your shadow self, and do some inner diving into what that is, who that looks like. And I continue to urge you to do that during this season. Scorpio season is the best time to look inward at your shadow self and look at the other parts of you that maybe we don't consider to be the forward-facing front that we put on Instagram. and acknowledging that person and those traits and loving them just as deeply and strongly as we do with the version that we put forward to the public, or the one that we consider to be the most proud of. You know, we can be proud of our shadow selves. And right now, there's a lot of likelihood to be anxious, to just generally feel body anxiety, mental anguish, not feeling as comfortable in our bodies, not feeling as courageous to speak up for ourselves or stand up for what's right in our own integrity or values. So being aware of that, you know, there's a lot of tools that you can utilize with overcoming anxiety. But, you know, part of this too, part of the moon card that I think is good is actually stimulating your imagination. So being open to these unconscious or subconscious ideas in a more abstract way, and entertaining the absurdity or the unusual and the bizarre and the weird, and letting yourself be outlandish and letting that be fun and exciting and entertaining, and allowing yourself to kind of tumble down this, I don't know, this Alice in Wonderland hole of fantasy, if you will. Like, it's actually a cool time to do that. So if you're feeling like you're, you know, confused or anxious, feeling like you're easily distracted right now, having trouble focusing, like feeling like the purpose and the focus and direction that we've been so busy and importantly and determinedly cultivating the past few weeks is kind of waning and not really being so steadfast this week. That's okay. You're not alone. This is happening all over the globe right now. This is what's happening. And the goal right now is to channel through these anxieties and these fears and these repressed emotions and this cognitive dissonance maybe that we're experiencing, and to ultimately release these fears and these emotions and to establish a more positive association between both sides of our brains, you know, maybe connecting the irrational and the rational parts and establishing a dialogue between them, allowing the illusion or delusion that we're experiencing to become tangible and to speak to it and to say that it's okay, I accept that you're here, but this is how I'm going to operate instead, or in spite, or with you, in support of you. To understand that you are impacted by your fears and anxieties, but you are not limited by them. They are not you. They do not they do not define you. You can completely burst through these and be liberated from them. And again, Scorpio is all about transformation, right? So this is about, you know, think about butterflies, think about phoenixes, think about this just general, you know, wanting to move through the process, and that know that like there is nothing wrong with being at any stage of a butterfly, being a caterpillar or a cocoon or a larvae or whatever. Like it's all okay. You're all on a journey. It's all fine. And nothing is less good. Nothing is worse. Nothing is less powerful. It's all part of a transformation, and it's also non-linear, and it's okay to go back a phase too. It's not advised to continue to deeper bury your feelings right now. Right now, all of this shit is coming up, and it's going to feel like you don't want to deal with it even more, especially if you've not dealt with it in the past. Why would you want to deal with it right now? This card, this time, this new moon, this Scorpio season, this Venus retrograde, all of this happening right now is a call to action that we don't really want to answer. But if you want to do the work and you want to progress on your personal development and your self-love and your self-care, the idea is to actually dive deeper into these demons that we don't want to look at and we don't want to shine a mirror on and we don't want to see the reflection of, but we kind of need to. That's what needs to happen in order to heal. So in order for us to process and heal, we have to face things dead in the face. We have to make eye contact. And that's the shit that we're in right now. So own that, allow that to feel anxious. That's okay. These anxieties that you're having about everything that's going on are valid. Your experiences are real and valid, and it's all just happening right now. So just try to listen to your inner voice, try to listen to your higher self, try to pay attention to the good parts of your imagination, and if you wander into fantasy realms, that's okay, but know that these fears and phobias and anxieties and inner demons are still part of you. And if you want to work through them, you have to do the work and kind of face them and heal them. And that takes courage and guts. And if you're not ready to do that this round, that's okay too. You have a permission slip to pass. That's okay. But, you know, if we continue to accept a false image of our reality, of who we are, of our past experiences and our lives, we are ultimately living with unrealistic truths and deceiving ourselves of what could possibly be a more beautiful, expansive growth of personal development. And I think that we owe ourselves the possibility of diving in deeper. So it's hardcore this week. It's been on the up, but this is kind of like a hit. So the moon card is your card for this week, and that's enough to deal with. There's a lot going on. So if you want to put that on your altar to remind you, and again, take a look at all these cards that I'm drawing are all within Scorpio season, all completely meshing in. So check out the Scorpio season blog post if you want to be added to the inspiration Pinterest board specifically for Scorpio inspiration, eye candy, and resources. There's 150 plus pins. Let me know. I will add you. And also consider that I have a anti-anxiety e-course out right now. It's called Relieve Anxiety. We talk about what anxiety is, but we also go into 2 categories of 18 different techniques of self-care tips and tools and resources that are programmed to specifically alleviate anxiety based on the chemical parts of your brain that control anxiety, like the neurotransmitters serotonin and norepinephrine, and the parts of your brain that are triggered by fear, like the amygdala. So all of the techniques that I'm offering and going through in depth are specifically designed to help to relieve and alleviate your feelings of anxiety and stress and fear. And I think that can come in handy at this time. And there are payment options too. So if you can't afford the full price at the one go, you can divide it up into a couple months over time. So I'm going to put the links in the comment section for all these things. And This was the Oliver Hibbert Tarot deck that I drew from this week. And I hope you found this useful. Please don't be overwhelmed, but if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm happy to answer them for you and hold space for you. I'm here. And yeah, I love you. Have a good Thursday.